TIFU by being a guy who hasn't dated anyone in years. I went on a third date with a fantastic girl today and we kissed and hugged and cuddled. I recently started dating her and it's been a long time since I've been in physical contact with the opposite sex. The date sounds pleasant, doesn't it? Well, I'm in the middle of just talking with our arms around each other. I look down and see a wet spot. Oh, I think I know what that is. A few minutes later the spot gets larger and it gets bigger. I'm going to adjust my legs and it's pretty evident it's there. What do? Being the genius person I am, I tell her, "Hey, I'm a bit wet, sorry." I said it because I figured she'd see it anyways. Luckily she understands and is pretty chill about it. Thank God. But yeah, that was not fun. It was embarrassing because it was in public and pretty evident what it was. And I had to meet someone else after my date. Luckily it dried off in time. Weird thing is I like her a lot, but I wasn't thinking of anything other than hugging her at that time. Guys, it's precum, not actual cum. Update, she's my GF now. So it wasn't all that bad. Too long, didn't read, hadn't gone on a date in years, and ended up getting my pants wet. I have a somewhat similar story. Years ago when I was around 20 years old, started talking to a girl. Went out on a date and due to my work schedule was on call, it looked like I was going to work at like 2 in the morning. So instead of dropping her off at her house and driving 45 minutes back home then coming back to the same area for work, she let me sleep at her place. Mind you, we had only been talking for a couple weeks and went out on our first date that same night, which went well. So we sleep in the same bed, and me being the young horny dude I was probably dreaming about the stuff I would like to do with this attractive girl, being that she was half naked sleeping right next to me. Next thing I know I wake up and my underwear and her blanket are soaked from having a wet dream. First time I've ever even had this happen. And of course it's the first night I'm staying with this girl who I've not even had any sexual interaction with. I try my best to slip out of bed and go to the bathroom, freaking out to see if I can clean myself up without her noticing. But of course she wakes up though, because she's a light sleeper, and I basically just explained what happened. To my surprise she just laughed and said it was fine and proceeded to take the bed sheets and blanket to the washer and grab some new blankets. Never been so embarrassed in my life. It always amazed me that almost every girl I've been with did not know that it's possible for guys to start leaking precum before the clothes even come off. When properly excited, my cock will start precumming, like it's sweeping over the ending of Old Yeller, and I've had girls asked if I pissed myself, premature ejaculated, or if I have some kind of disease. Most are pretty fascinated and flattered when I tell them what's going on. I dunno, maybe it's different for other guys, but apparently the OP and I share this trait, at least. No a-hole here. I'd be absolutely fine with that, and it makes great teasing, but in a loving way material. I'd be flattered if anything, as long as you weren't too full on or creepy about it, and you weren't. Things happen. We're all human. I'd hope to be treated kindly if something comparable happened to me, so I'd treat you the same. GL with the new GF. Always masturbate before going on a date. It might sound weird for some of you, but your head will be much clearer and you will save yourself from the embarrassment. Also, you will be in physical pain when your body expects you to get laid after a very long time. It will help you relieve the pressure, both mental and physical. Dude, same thing happened to me 2 years ago. I went to the movies and the girl hugged me and put her head in my chest. Went to the bathroom after the movie and I had a wet spot in my jeans. ODE. I guess I can say that I jizzed my pants. I remember the first time it happened it with a guy. I was very immature and didn't know shit. I got weirded out, but didn't make faces or anything. Just acted as if nothing was happening. Then, after going home, I did a own PhD level research about dick, erections and arousal. Oh boy, haha. What a situation. I feel like Ben Stiller is involved somehow. Glad it worked out for you. I'm so glad dating wasn't a thing when I was a youngin', where I grew up. High school wanna go out? Sure. Bam. You're a couple. 20s beers and good banter leads to jetting it on. If you are both still interested in chatting. Bam. You're basically a couple. All this dating nonsense sounds awful. Like balancing multiple job interviews. A bit too Hollywood for me. Hard pass. Glad I'm old and entrenched now. I'm with you. I dated a girl in high school. We went our separate ways like most kids do, and years later we realized we weren't happy without one another, and bam, 20 years later we are expecting our first daughter. You didn't duck up by having a normal human response, bro. When I was first hanging out with my BF, back in my freshman year, and before we started dating, we'd cuddle and I would definitely notice something hard there, and we rarely talked about it, because we were both hella awkward. It took us till after we officially started dating that we talked about it. Good on you for communicating early on. That's crazy. I've never had that happen. I had a stripper think that happened once, but it didn't. I went to this strip club with friends, and it was like this biop strip club. They didn't serve drinks, but you could bring your own. So me and the homies brought in a cooler. Anyway, carrying this thing, it was all wet and shit and full of beer. So we are lugging it in, and I'm carrying by my crotch. Crotch must have got wet. Buddy's got me a lap dance. The stripper's grinding on me and stops mid-song, touches my crotch and says, "What's that?" I'm drunk as duck and say, "I don't know, song's end," and she stands up and I hear her whisper, "Thank God that's over," and I'm like, TF. Then later I'm thinking about it and I realize, oh shit, I bet she thinks I nutted. Laughing my freaking butt off. I've been married for 12 years and I still get this when I cuddle close to my wife. Some of us just have caveman genetics that try to procreate without anyone's even owner's consent. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing for more videos.